In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work with heading tags like h1, h2, h3 and so on using Bootstrap. So as usual, we will start with blank.html and I would save this as headings. Okay, now you see the default text over here. Let's change this default text into a paragraph by adding the appropriate paragraph tags to it. Okay, so now you have a paragraph, and with a paragraph you can highlight the first sentence or the heading of the paragraph by adding p plus lead to your paragraph, and this sort of enlarges the text that you have selected. It also makes it a little bit bolder. So this is really useful for lines of paragraph, as I mentioned, to highlight the first sentence. This can be a form of heading. You can use it in place of an actual h1 or h2 tag. Really depends on the situation. Now let's change this to a h1 tag, which is for header 1. Okay, so in Bootstrap, if you know basic HTML, you can go from h1 to h2, h3, 4, 5 and 6. h1 to h6 is supported in Bootstrap. There's a specific class for all those headers to control the size, the boldness of the text, etc. But we're just going to work with h1 for now. I'm going to show you a few options to style your h1 tag. So within the header tag, you can select a section of that tag to make this a sub of the header 1 by adding small. Okay, this makes the text smaller, of course, but it also changes the color of the text. Okay, that's one neat little trick that you can do. Now you can also add the h1 tag into a special div, which is called div class page header. By assigning the class page header to this div, you're basically creating more padding around the h1 tag, and you also add a border, okay, to the div class page header, and you add a little bit of margin right below that border to push everything else a little bit downwards. And this is useful when designing a page. For example, you may want this to be the title of your blog. Let me show you in the template that I provided in the course materials where we use stuff like this. Okay, so this is an example of the h1 tag. This is also the h1 tag, but I've added the attribute small to it. Alright, so this is a h1 tag. This is the small attribute added to the h1 tag, and this entire thing is in a page header. Now let's go back to headings. Okay, so you can assign different colors to your h1 tag by choosing the appropriate class, text, okay, you can change it to text info, text success, okay, and all the other default classes like warning or danger. You can also add classes very quickly to your h1 tag to capitalize the text, okay, or to make everything in uppercase. Within the page header, you can always add h3 as a smaller or subheading. Close that. Okay, so let's try one final thing here. What if you don't want the text to be aligned to the left? You want it to be aligned to the middle. In the div class of page header, just add the class text center, and everything is automatically aligned right in the middle. So that's how easy it is to work with heading tags in Bootstrap and create good looking pages by using page header and also by adding different style options to your heading tags.